What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mind Muscle Mission podcast on the NFM Podcast Network. I'm Ben, your co-host, and this other individual. Man, both of you guys got beards, so I can't say that. The stellar individual, looking neck is his last name on his shirt, Pennington. What's up, Christian? How you doing?
I'm alive and breathing, so it's a beautiful day out. So I'm tired of the random weather changes that we keep getting for no apparent reason down here in Nashville. But
Yeah,
that's the South. It's what you get. Just be grateful it's not flooding some reason. But let's wait for tomorrow.
yeah, it's a blessing. Um, but yeah, hey everyone, we're honored to have such an amazing individual today, country music star, but more importantly, a veteran, Scotty Hastings. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we really appreciate it. I know we were just talking earlier how busy your schedule is, and I'm sure you're just being directed every which way. So we really appreciate you taking the hour out of your time
Yeah,
to
man.
talk to us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. For sure.
Yeah, man. Well, let's kick it off.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what we'd like to really open up with is just dive into what caused you to join the military in general, a little bit of your military service, and then later we're going to get into why you got out. But let's start with that base of what made you go in,
Yeah.
branch, that beginning part of your
Yeah.
life.
So, I grew up in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area. And, yeah. And, I was playing baseball at the time. I was in a semi-pro independent league, professional league thing. Wasn't making any money, had a family that I needed to support. And I always had a feeling that I needed to do something that meant something, that I needed to be a part of something that was more than just myself. And one day I decided to join the military. So I went in and joined the Army and joined as an 11 Bravo infantry. And yeah, I had it in my mind that that's what I wanted to do. And at the time, the woman that I was with was like, just do it. If it's what you want to do, go do it. So I did. I probably should have played a little bit harder to get because come to find out there was a signing bonus for infantry guys. Of course, my recruiter wouldn't tell me that because I was like, this is what I want to do. But yeah, man, it just honestly, it was just a need that I felt like I just needed to do something that meant something. And, and also, just help that it was a lot more stable than playing baseball at the time. And yeah, joined the Army, went into basic training. Let's see, about 3 months, 4 months after basic training, in Afghanistan. I was in the Kandahar province of Afghanistan.
Oh yeah, right into it.
Oh yeah,
Just no breaks.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what year was that?
That was in 2011.
Okay,
Oh, so right when shit was heavy too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's like
yeah.
balls to the wall.
so they
Oh
were
yeah,
just recruiting, turning people. 11 Bravo. Here you go. Here's your
yeah,
equipment out the door.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good times.
Yeah, and the funny thing is we've had a lot of veterans on here, a lot of people, and similar to mine as well as is the story of I was doing something, but I just felt like a bigger calling to go serve something bigger than myself,
Yeah,
and then a week. It took me 3 weeks, and then I was off the basic. And it seems like there's such a quick turnaround. It's like I want to do this, and then the next thing you know, that dotted line is right in front of you, and poof, you're on a plane, and your life has drastically changed.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I got that when so I was with the Marines and the Army. I did both. The Marines was such a drawn out process. I think it took like 6 months to get through the entire thing. When I left the Marines and went to the Army, it was like a month, maybe. And they're just like, okay, great. I don't even know my recruiter's name. Dude, barely remember what he looks like.
Hmm.
So you're in Afghanistan,
Hmm.
brand new to the military, learning and just going to war.
Yeah.
And kind of talk to us about how how that was, being a young, probably mid 20s, right?
Yeah, I was 22 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, I don't think it really hits you until you get shot at the first time. You're over there and you're like, okay, whatever. It's just every day. It's another day in the Army. Um, and for like a good couple weeks, we were we were just training in the Kandahar airfield area. So we trained for a good couple weeks, and then we went off to the COP. And again, it's like you're in a different country, sure, but it doesn't really hit you until you're on patrol and you get shot at for the first time. And then it's like, holy crap, this is a thing. Like, this is real.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I tell everyone all the time, like being deployed is easy, man. Like it's super easy. I mean, your job is to take care of your brothers and sisters and survive. And because other than that, they tell you what to do. It's super easy. And then, it's over here. It's getting back. That's the hard part.
Yeah, absolutely. The day to day is there's so much structure in the military.
Yeah.
There's some credibility when people say right place, right time, right uniform.
Mhm.
And, is if you show up and you nail all three of those, you're good.
100%, man. You look like a stud, which is crazy.
Yeah,
You're just listening to what they're telling you to do.
yeah,
We're getting awards
absolutely.
for it. Love it. Just like, hey, here's your good cookie. You
I
did it.
know. It's like the bar set so low. You go, you do what they tell you to do, and you're awesome. Like, it's like, what?
But
Yeah.
so many pro people have such a hard time just doing that.
It's crazy. You see it basic training all the time. It's like, how have you survived this long? Like, it's what? Like, it's insane.
It's those freaks of nature. You're just looking at them like, huh, I'm proud of you for
Absolutely.
existing right now, dude. I don't know how you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I went into basic training at 21, so I was like technically the old dude, which is crazy. Um, but man, there were so many younger kids that were there, and it was like, dude, how did you make it to 18 years old? Like, how?
Yeah.
Like, you do not think. It's just,
Hmm.
there's so many people that you're like, yeah, I see why you're here. It makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. You need structure in your life. You
Yeah,
need discipline. Um,
absolutely.
and they sure, they do a good job. The military does
Mhm.
instill discipline, right, wrong, or indifferent. It does. So Afghanistan, you get injured,
Yeah.
um, and kind of, uh, you know, we don't need to go into the details of that because I know it's sticky for listeners and anybody who has gone through that.
Yeah.
But that was the first time you were in Afghanistan, and that happened, and you come home, right? You had to, you ended up in Walter Reed, and that's when the real battles probably began.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that was Walter Reed was the real, that was the real test. Like being over there, man, that's when life hits you. Not only are you trying to figure out your new normal, but you're also trying to figure out day-to-day responsibilities. I went back from, you go from being deployed, being told what to do and how to do it and where to do it, and then you get to Walter Reed and it's like, oh man, now I have to figure out how I'm going to pay the car note, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do this and that, and figure out how to take care of my kids with an injury that I have now, and figure out how to just live life with an injury now. That was when it really hit, and that was honestly Walter Reed was some of the hardest times that I had.
I can
Yeah.
imagine too, because there's nothing else you can do. I mean,
Mhm.
there's no other work you can do besides sit there
Yeah,
and heal. I
absolutely.
mean, sure, you can do some rehab, whatever you want to
Mhm.
do that, but that's,
Yeah,
I mean, it's just,
man, it's awful. It's like it's just you're so hyper focused on your injury. So it's like you're going to appointments, and everything you do, it revolves around your injury. So you're truly back in that all the time. Every day you're thinking about your injury. You're thinking about what happened. You're thinking about your friends that you lost. Like it's there all the time. So yeah, Walter Reed it was rough.
Yeah. And now, how long were you at Walter Reed?
I was inpatient for a month, and then I was outpatient for 6 months.
Okay.
But outpatient at Walter Reed, like you still live on campus, so you're still there.
Yeah, and that was more, the physical. Obviously, it is what it is, right? And
Yeah,
and you have, and I've heard, I have lots of friends who've been to Walter Reed, and they've top notch everything, right?
absolutely.
And great staff, great individuals, and want to work with you. And that's when the mental healing probably began, right? Can you
Yeah.
talk to us how that, you know, did you know at that time that you were done with the military?
No, no. I
Okay.
still had it in my mind that I was gonna heal up and go back. I was gonna be back with my guys. Yeah, it took God, it took like 4 years for me to finally realize that I didn't really have a choice. I had to get out. But yeah, no, when I was at Walter Reed, man, that's when like, I don't know, man. That's like it's not only is that when you start working on like the mental stuff, but that's when it actually hits you. You know that like when you're in Afghanistan, you do things, you go you have your job, but when you're there, it's hard to focus on what's happening or what happened. But then you get to Walter Reed where your day consists of going to appointments and trying to heal, and you have a lot of time on your hands. So that's when, the thoughts start creeping in, and that's when all the emotional and mental stuff starts kind of flooding in. But yeah, that's really when it hit the hardest was when I was at Walter Reed. And then not only that, but that's also when I worked the hardest to try to work on my mental health as much as possible.
Yeah.
I was about to ask about that. Did they, during this time, whether you're doing your physical rehabilitation and healing physically, were they also sending you to counseling, like at the same time, trying to process that, or was that
Yeah.
a second
Yeah.
thought?
Absolutely. My physical stuff was every day, and then mental healing was meeting with therapists, meeting with different people, was usually a couple times a week.
Okay.
And you have a different team, but a team nonetheless, right? And I think that's something that is something to be said is, you know, the things going on internal and external. You're going through it with other brothers and sisters. So 4 years, that's a long time. So
Yeah.
what did you after you went into outpatient, and then did you return back to the base and
Yeah, yeah. So I did a month inpatient, 6 months outpatient, and then my guys were coming back.
okay.
So I was like, man, I need to go back to Fort Riley. I need to be there when they get there. And at Walter Reed, that's not the norm. Like Walter Reed, like you're at Walter Reed because you got messed up pretty good, and usually that means you're getting out at Walter Reed.
Okay.
So me going back to Fort Riley was like unheard of, to the point of where it took an act of Congress. I literally had to go meet with my congressman and have him write a letter, which was great because he was an ex-Ranger and he was like, bro, too easy. I got you.
Yeah.
He's like, I would
That's
want to
awesome.
be there with my guys too. Like, I get it. Absolutely. So he wrote that up, and I finally got to go back to Fort Riley. And then, yeah, I was there with my guys, and I fought the med board process for 4 years, man, just trying to heal as much as possible because still in my brain, in my mind, I was going to go back. I was going to go back to a line unit. I was going to get healthy enough to where I could go back, and I tried, with trying to reintegrate back into a line unit. They make you do a mental test, and then they make you do a physical test. I passed the mental test easily, because that's easy. You just make up a bunch of stuff. It's so easy. You know what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And then you go, and then but the physical test I couldn't pass because I have my injuries and my hand didn't work as much as well as it does now. So I tried it 4 different times. I tried the physical test 4 different times, and still to this day I hold the record for the person who tried it the most, apparently.
Nice.
And
Good for you.
yeah, I tried it 4 different times, and on the fourth time they were like, "Man, it's time to start looking into something else." And then that's when they kind of gave me a list of other jobs that I can do in the military, and I was like, "Man, like I signed up to fight. Like if I'm not going to do that, then what's the point? I don't want to be a part of this." And so yeah, and then that's when I decided to jump into the med board process.
And tackle that whole monster in
Man,
Yeah,
itself.
it's a beast
that
in
was
itself.
that was wild. And the worst part about it was I was already upset. Like I was already pissed off at the Army. They told me that that they don't need me anymore. I'm broke enough to where they want to get rid of me, and I was upset. So I didn't really fight for anything. I was just like, cool, whatever percentage you want to give me, I don't care. Get me out of here. Like I was just pissed. So I ended up with 90% from the Army, and then 90% from the VA. And I was like, I don't care. Like I don't care. I just want out. Blah blah blah. So I kind of screwed myself because now I finally got to 100%, but it was a process. That was a whole nother process trying to
Yeah.
get to 100%. Um, but yeah, man, I was just mad. I was mad at the world. I was mad at the Army. I was going through a divorce at the time, and I was just pissed, and I
And
wanted.
you're at Riley too, so that don't help.
Absolutely, man. I
I was
think
about to say because that's the only place I was at with the army was Riley. So I bet when you're talking to the congressman, he's
Mhm.
like, "At least you didn't start with I want to go back to Fort Riley," because he'd probably look at you and say, "Yeah, yeah, I think you need to take that psych test again, my guy. Like
Real, man. Especially
it's
during wintertime, Fort Riley sucks.
it's terrible.
so,
It is.
it's so bad.
It's probably not
It's
changed at
like 30
all.
degrees with a -10 wind chill. It's insane.
No, it's a terrible. It's so beautiful, but it's not at the same time. I
Yeah.
remember walking through one of the bars, like down there, and one of the shops it said Kansas. Well, there's a sticker it said Kansas. It's not that bad. Like, that sums up
That's
all of
something,
Kansas right
honestly.
there.
Really. That's
But
so.
yeah, no, yeah, being especially in Riley, like and going through that med board process because that's where I med boarded out too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like you can even go to KC or you can go to
Mhm.
Wichita. It's you are stuck either in Junction City, which has nothing,
For
or you're
real.
stuck in Manhattan, which has five things in it, maybe.
Yeah.
And then
And a
you're
bunch of
surrounded
college
by
kids that are just going to piss you off even more.
yeah, and you're
Absolutely.
surrounded in the highest what is Riley the highest alcohol,
Mhm.
suicide, drug related base in the country.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's
Yeah.
it's not a good
Yeah, it
spot
was
for that.
it was hard, man. But yeah, I had to be there for my guys. I
Yeah.
had to be back there. I had to be with them. And yeah, and that was a whole process.
Yeah. Did they get surprised when they saw you back there? Didn't
Oh
anybody
yeah, they
know?
were not expecting me to be there for sure.
Nice.
Which is okay because neither was the army. We got there and no one was ready for us to be there. We showed up and we're like, hey, like, we're here. I'm here with my family. Like, I would love to jump into some housing. Like, and they were like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
Awesome.
So, okay. So 4 years, med board process, uh, you had to kind of now forced to find a new purpose,
Yeah.
right? And what kind of drove you? So you're still in Kansas then.
Hmm.
Where do you go after everything was said and done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, it's crazy. So I'm originally from the Cincinnati area.
yeah. I
And
grew up in Dayton, so that's
oh,
why
heck yeah, there
I
we
was
go.
so
Right down the
excited.
road.
Yep.
So, I knew that I wanted to, my guys were all leaving. They were going different places, and a lot of them were coming to Fort Campbell. And I was like, well, that's closer to home anyhow. It's way closer than 12 hours. It's 4 hours. I can drive home, still keep the family away a little bit if I need to. Yeah, I'll go down there. I'll go hang out at Fort Campbell in Nashville. Like I've always wanted to go, never been there. And I just moved down to Clarksville, right outside of Fort Campbell, and I lived there for a while because a lot of them were going to Fort Campbell, so we just kind of stayed together. And then I got here and I fell in love with Nashville, and I fell in love with the people of Nashville, and I was like, man, this is where I need to be. Like this was way before music was even a thought. Like at this point, music wasn't even the dream. It wasn't even a thought. It was just, this is where I need to be. I love the people here. I love the atmosphere here. There's something magical about Nashville. And I just knew that this is where I wanted to be.
It's awesome. So you moved down. You basically followed as a veteran slash
Mhm.
civilian. Your teammates and
Mhm.
came down here and then fell in love. And then what pivoted? What transitioned in your mind to be like, this is now I have to find a new
Yeah.
mission. I have to find a new purpose.
Yeah.
And then what caused you to jump into the music scene?
Yeah, I've been incredibly blessed. I found an escape early. When I was at Fort Riley, we got there and they offered a bunch of different adaptive sports. I grew up playing sports, football, baseball, and basketball. I was playing semi-pro baseball before I joined the army. Like sports was our life. And I was like, man, I'll try adaptive sports. Why not? That'd be cool. So I tried like everything, literally the whole list of adaptive sports. And I found archery in adaptive sports, and I found an escape in archery. And it's funny, I went for the first time to shoot archery, and I'm normally right-handed. So the guy was like, "Are you right-handed or left-handed?" I was like, "Well, I'm right-handed, but this hand is kind of messed up." And he was like, "All right, well, if you're right-handed, then we'll just let you shoot right-handed." And we figured out very quickly that I have no feeling in this hand, and I would just fire arrows on accident, not even meaning to. So like 3 arrows into shooting, the guy who was running the clinic was like, man, you're a liability at this point, so you need to stop. And I went home that night and I was like, man, he's not going to tell me I can't freaking do this. Like, I'm going to figure out a way to do this. So I remember like him talking about archery and how like whenever you're holding the bow, the hand that holds the bow, you just let it rest. You just let it sit there. And I was like, well, that's what this hand does anyhow. Like, what if I tried left-handed? So I went back the next day and he was like, no, you're not shooting. I leave. And I was like, no, hold on. I have an idea. And I was like, let's try left-handed. And he was like, all right, let's give it a shot. So he basically wrapped my hand around the bow so that it didn't fly out. And I was able to learn how to shoot that way. And I found an escape, in 7 seconds right before that arrow released, the PTSD, the depression, the anxiety, all that disappeared. It was gone. And I lived for 7 seconds at a time every single day. And to the point of where I picked it up and I ended up getting recruited by the U.S. Paralympic Committee, and I traveled all over the country. I represented the United States and shot archery, and it was incredible. And it was exactly what I needed when I needed it. But yeah, the real pivot to all of it was COVID. COVID happened, the world shut down, which means that my escape, my new sense of purpose that I've been doing for the last 6 years shooting archery was gone. And I needed something. When it gets quiet is when the demons knock the loudest, and I needed something to get out of my head. And I always had a guitar in the corner of my room. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to play this thing. Like, why not? I'm going to jump on YouTube and I'm going to learn how to play it. I haven't let anything stop me yet. So why not try this? And so I knew that learning how to play the guitar was going to be hard enough to where I really had to think about it. So I would get out of my head and get out of all the bad thoughts. And I was able to find an escape in learning how to play the guitar and learning how to play songs that I grew up listening to. And then from there, I decided one day, I was like, man, like I had somehow learned that songwriting was a thing. I don't know where I thought songs came from before that. I guess they just appeared. I don't know. And, I found out that was a thing, and I was like, man, I want to try that. Like, I have all these thoughts and all these emotions. Like, I want to put them somewhere. Like, I could do that. I want to try that. And so I jumped on YouTube again. I started learning how songs are structured and how you go from a verse to a chorus to a bridge and how it all comes together and makes one body of work. And I found an escape in that. I was able to take these feelings and these thoughts that I was struggling with every day, and I was able to put them somewhere else, which was huge for me. And then, yeah, I was playing these songs that I grew up listening to, and I was writing songs that weren't even songs. They were just word vomit that I needed to get out at the time. And then one day, slowly the world started opening up again, and I went to Cookeville, Tennessee, and I went to an open mic night at Red Silo Brewing Company, and I played. I don't know why. I was just like, man, I'm going to go up on stage and play. Like, I know these songs now. Like, why not? Who cares, man? Why not? There's like 4 people here. Who cares? I'm going to go up there and do it. And so I jumped on stage and I played the first song I ever learned how to play, which was Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith. And in that moment, like, everything connected, man. It was in that moment, the stage became my sanctuary, and I knew that this is what I needed to do forever. It was like that escape and that sense of purpose and that sense of peace that I had found in archery was there, but it was magnified 100 times. And I knew that I needed to spend the rest of my life being on a stage. And to the point of where, the world continued to open up more. And I had found out through my friends that were coming down and playing open mic nights, because from that point on, I played open mic nights until I decided that Nashville was where I wanted to go and go play on Broadway. I found out from my friends that down on Broadway, you play 3 to 4 hours at a time. And I was like, dude, you're telling me for 3 to 4 hours a day, I can be away from the PTSD. I can be away from the depression. The anxiety it can all be gone for 3 to 4 hours a day. Like, yeah, I want to do that. So I went down on Broadway, and I literally for a month straight, I walked up and down Broadway and I bugged the crap out of people until they let me on stage. And then from then on out, at one point in time, I was playing 6 nights a week for 4 hours at a time. And my vocal cords hated me, absolutely hated me. But the peace and the escape and the sense of purpose that I got from being there in that moment outweighed any pain that I felt in my vocal cords. And it was, and I lived for those 4 hours a day. And, and yeah, now I have a platform where hopefully I can try to help someone find something the way that I was able to.
And that's the special thing, right? And you said early on 7 seconds, right? For that 7 seconds, you were at peace. And then, we all look at COVID as being it was disruptive. It halted a lot of things. However, that didn't it didn't stop you. And you built upon that 7 seconds, right?
Yep.
You found other ways of, okay, so 7 seconds, but now when I have a guitar in my hand, now I can extend it to a minute or 2 minutes, and then now getting on stage for 30 minutes, and then getting on stage for 3 to 4 hours, and then magnify that by 6 days a week. Like all that thing is just a testimony that once you find something, and you have that feeling, go find it and stick with it and continue to build upon it. Right. I think that's the amazing thing about that story is, you did pivot. And you were forced to pivot, but you had that I guess that taste of freedom,
Yeah.
right? And that's pretty cool. And teaching yourself, right? That's I think a lot of people look at I could be completely wrong, but this is my perception of country music stars or stars in general, and they don't really look at the build up, how many hours it took, how much effort. How many doors you probably got slammed in your face until they gave you a shot and then you executed. And that's something that's pretty amazing to hear. And for the listeners out there who are struggling, like this is a true testament of being able to find something and then continue to build upon that and never give up.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Was there was there like a favorite venue that you had down on Broad? Was there a favorite bar that you enjoyed doing?
Oh man, on Broadway. Ooh. Man, they were all a little different, man. They all offered different things. So, I loved playing, Kid Rock's place because it was always pretty full and it was always a good time. But my favorite shows were always the small acoustic shows. So I'd play like Margaritaville down on Broadway, or I'd play this hotel called the Moxie. And it was literally just me and a guitar for 4 hours. And those were always my favorite shows because those are the shows where I could like truly like connect with people.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like it's fun to have the full band and to be rocking out and running around and having a good time. But when it's just you and a guitar, it's so much easier to connect with everybody that's in that room. But Broadway will humble the hell out of you, man. Like one day you're playing for a room full of 300 something people, and the next day you're playing for the bartenders. So I don't know. I think, Broadway taught me a lot. It taught me a lot as far as like, engaging with people who are there, and not only that, but not taking not taking a full room for granted, because not every room is full. And you learn very quickly what it feels like to be playing for nobody and what it feels like to be playing for a lot of people. And
all at the same time, you're truly just playing for yourself.
100%. At the same time, it was just therapy happening in front of everybody's eyes. Absolutely.
But probably just at some points, it didn't even feel like I don't really give a crap if it's 3 people or 300. It's just I'm here. This is my healing time. This is my therapy that I need right now.
Yep, 100%.
That's the same way I feel I do photography as well. And so I don't care if I'm doing a festival running around for 3 hours a day or I'm shooting some kid doing their graduation photos. It doesn't matter what it is as long as I can put my heart in.
As long as you're doing it, man. I mean, that's all, honestly, to me, that's all that mattered. I didn't care who was in the room. All I cared was that I was there and I was in a moment and I was able to live in that moment. You guys get it. For people who suffer from PTSD, it's hard to live in a moment. It's hard to find a moment where you can live in it. We live in, I live in Afghanistan a lot, and I live thinking about my best friends a lot. But when I'm on stage, I can live in a moment. It's one of only that and riding my motorcycle, only 2 places in the world that I can live in a moment. And yeah, man, I eat it up as much as I can.
Yeah, it's that finding that present tense, right? Is super important. All All right, we're gonna take a quick break, real quick, and then we're gonna get right back into it. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Mind Muscle Mission podcast. We've had such an incredible time so far talking to Scotty Hastings, just talking about your journey and how you got to where you're at now, which is incredible, and more importantly, the healing that you've been able to find for yourself. And then, so now let's back up a couple years, because this is, I mean, COVID, what, 4 years ago ish, and that kind of, that spawned you taking a leap, determined, you found something that you knew purpose, you put effort into it, and you were significantly determined to be successful. But what, after COVID and that, and going through Broadway, and what was after Broadway? What kind of what kind of transpired after that?
Yeah, man. For me, I was happy with playing Broadway. I mean, for me, I was playing for myself. I was playing for the
Yeah.
therapy that I got from it. So I was good. I never really had any plans to turn it into what it has become. It's crazy. The way that it all happened is such a Nashville story. It's insane. So I was with my mom one day. She was like, I'm going to go buy a car. Come with me. I know nothing about cars, but I figured mom's probably going to buy me lunch and I love free food. So I'm going to go. And so I went with her to the dealership, and turns out her salesman was the son of the president and CEO of Black River Entertainment, which is the label that I'm signed to now. Um, but yeah, me and him just kind of talked about music and how I use music as a form of therapy. And at the time, I think I had one song out because I just wanted to get a taste of what it was like to record a song. And we talked a lot. We talked a lot about how I use music and how I want to use music to help other people find what I was able to. And he was like, "Man, I'm gonna send a little bit of your story and a little bit of who you are and your song, and I'm gonna send it to my dad, and I'm gonna send it to Doug Johnson, who's the head A&R guy at Black River." And I was like, "Amazing, awesome," But Nashville's full of people who like to talk, and then nothing ever happens. And I was like, I'm not gonna hold my breath, but that's incredible. And then 3 hours later, I get a call from Doug Johnson, the A&R guy at Black River, and he's like, "Man, we need to meet." And I was like, "Okay." Like, yeah, man, I would love that. So we ended up meeting, and it's funny, like, he was like, "Hey, great to meet you." I talked to him for like 5 or 10 minutes, and he was like, "All right, stop right there. We're going to go down to Gordon's office real quick, and we're going to finish this conversation." And we went down to the president and CEO, his office, and we had probably a 3 hour long conversation about music and how I want to use music as, to help people, and in some way, shape, or form. My story, my music, whatever it is, I want to help. And they were like, "Man, like, okay, like that's amazing. Like, you need to keep coming around." So Doug, then, that I wasn't aware of at this time, Doug was wanting to write with me a lot. So me and Doug wrote a lot. So Doug Johnson is a guy who wrote Three Wooden Crosses. He wrote Love Like Crazy for Lee Brice. He wrote If She's Lonely Now, She Won't Be Lonely Long. This dude has written songs that will truly live forever. And he was like, man, you seem like a great guy, but as the songwriter that Doug is, he's like, I don't really know you until I write a song with you. And I was like, well, let's write a song, man. Like, let's do it. And he was like, all right, but what song do you want to write? Like, what if you could say anything, what would be the one thing you want to say? And I was like, man, I have this thought that has stuck with me since I was at Walter Reed about the stories that we as veterans tell and how therapeutic those stories become. Because for those brief moments in time, our best friends, the greatest people we've ever known, are alive again in our hearts and in our minds and just in that moment. And he was like, that's the song we write. We're going to write that song. And I was like, okay. So literally 30 minutes later, we had a song and it's out now. You can listen to it. It's called The Stories That They Tell. And that's the first song I ever wrote with Doug. And then from that moment on, for 2 years, I was writing and developing as an artist. I didn't realize that Doug was taking me under his wing and developing me as an artist, which is crazy because he did the same with Blake Shelton. So that's wild.
Yeah.
What's the name of that song?
yeah, it's crazy. Do I?
What's the name of that one? Because I want to put that in the bio for this one, so people can really.
For my song?
Yeah, what was the name?
The Stories That They Tell.
Story that. Okay.
Yeah, and then and it's funny, for like 2 years around Black River, I was just Doug's guy. No one knew my name. They didn't know who I was. They just knew me as Doug's guy. They saw me with Doug all the time. They saw me writing with Doug all the time. So I was just Doug's guy. And it's funny, man. And then 2 years of him developing me as an artist and developing my sound and developing my songwriting. Like, after that was when Black River offered me a record deal and a publishing deal. And it's incredible, man. I mean, I'm still brand new to this, like there's people on Broadway that have been playing for years, decades, and still haven't been able to, be blessed enough to be where I am. And man, it's incredible, man. And I will never be able to thank Black River enough for, going and giving some, dude who just got started in music a chance when I probably didn't deserve it at that time. And yeah, man, and it'll never go unnoticed by me that I am in a place right now that so many people dream to be. And I just want to do everything in my power to try to help someone with either my story or my music or something.
Nice. Yeah, you put in the effort, you put in the work, and you definitely, the stars aligned, but the effort was there, and the consistency was there, and I wasn't, I recently retired, and I didn't see music as ever being a healing opportunity. And it wasn't until I moved from Clarksville to Nashville, I got linked up with Operation Song, and I was able to try music as a therapy. And that right then and there, like sitting there and talking to the songwriter I was paired with, was so therapeutic. And just being able to, for me, I say I rephrased my story that was so scripted in my head differently over and over and over, so he could get a better understanding. And that right then and there was kind of lifting, unbeknownst to me, lifting that cinder block off my shoulders. But music is so powerful, and I think a lot of people take it for granted sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And music is healing. It really is. I mean, from that song Till the Last Shuts, or from that song Stories That They Tell, to another song that I put out called How Do You Choose, which is a song about my survivor's guilt. It's a song about my best friend being killed in Afghanistan and the survivor's guilt that I deal with on a daily basis about why am I here and he's not. Yeah. And that song was without a doubt the hardest song I've ever written, but the most therapeutic song I've ever written.
Yeah,
coming for you.
Apparently there's a plane overhead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song, it was without a doubt the most therapeutic song I've ever written. And it's still, man, I get messages every day about that song and about what that song means to people. And, and it's incredible, man. And it's, not that song was healing for me. Like that song was so personal to me. And I get messages every day about how that song has given someone a voice who didn't know what to say, or that song has helped people understand their feelings. And I'm like, man, I didn't mean to do that. Like that was just me trying to get what I was dealing with out there. And, it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible to see the healing in myself, but it's also incredible to see that what I'm doing is helping.
Yeah, power. Now, do you see songs that, you wrote songs from your experience, and and other songs may just be written because it sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, can, like, being where you're at now and having the knowledge and the experience of what you have, can you tell the difference of how, like, if you're writing a song that's just, so impactful to you compared to writing a song just to write a song?
Yeah, I think yes and no. In a way, every song that you write has to be an extension of you in some way, shape, or form. And if I'm singing a song and you don't feel what I'm saying and it doesn't feel like the truth, then I'm not doing my job. But there are songs that I've cut that weren't mine that became a part of me. There's a song that I have out right now called "Till the Last Shot's Fired." I mean, that song changed my life, and it wasn't even my song. It was actually Doug's song. Trace Atkins originally cut it, and that song, I heard it for the first time at Walter Reed, and it touched a piece of my heart that I didn't know existed, and I cried like a baby for 2 hours, man, and I couldn't stop myself. And in that 2 hours, I made the decision that I was going to live my life to the fullest, and I wasn't going to let my injury dictate my life, and I was going to live my life for my friends who would never have the opportunity. And fast forward 10 years, and I'm sitting in the office of one of the co-writers of that song talking about signing a record deal, and he's like, "Hey man, like, what do you think about doing a version of that song?" And I was like, man, that song changed my life. Like, yes, I would love to do a version. So we did. We did a version of Till the Last Shot's Fired. And originally it was just me on there. And in every feeling and emotion that I felt when I first heard that song, I put it into that song. And then he was like, man, like, this song's incredible. We can put it out like this, or we can reach out to some other artists and see if they want to be a part of it. What do you say? And I was like, well, let's send it to everybody, man. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
And, the first artist who agreed to be a part of it was Lee Bryce. And Lee, a little bit of, just the incredible person that Lee is. I mean, he was like, man, I don't care what part I play in this song. Like, I just want to be a part of whatever you're doing. Like, this is incredible. Like, I just want to be a part of it. And so then we had me and Lee's version, and it was awesome. And it was perfect, I thought. And then 2 weeks later, Doug calls me again. He's like, hey, Dolly Parton wants to be on this song. And I was like, what? Like, all right. Like, yeah, man, let Dolly do whatever she wants to do. Like, what? And so then we had a version with me and Lee and Dolly, man. And it was, and the emotions that I felt when I first heard that song hit me. They came rushing in all at one time, man. And it's that song is truly perfect. And still to this day, like, I mean, I've listened to that song thousands of times. And when Dolly comes in, I still get chills every single time. But yeah, man, I mean, there's every song that I record and every song that I put out, like, it has to be an extension of me in some way, shape, or form. It has to be a piece of who I am, or it has to align with what I believe. And, that's the only way that I can make people feel that it's the truth, is if I believe it's the truth.
And that's probably what sets you apart. I mean, truly, from other artists that just kind of push out music, go, got to get something out.
Yeah.
Here's a half-assed album that doesn't work. But stepping away from all that, but kind of going in, it looks like you were having a busy June, July last year. I mean, between D-Day and the Opry. I mean,
Yeah.
that's insane. I don't know which one would be more nerve-wracking. I mean, stepping
Oh,
into
man.
that circle.
I,
Yeah. But,
Yeah, I don't know, man. Normandy, like the 80th anniversary of D-Day in Normandy it was life changing, man. It was absolutely insane. Like, I got to connect with World War II vets I mean, to me, those were soldiers. Like, those were the epitome of a freaking soldier. Like, those dudes went and they fought until it was over, and then they came back. And it was amazing being able to connect with him. There was one guy named Dennis Bolt that I connected with, who he was 99 years old. The last time he was in Normandy, he was 19 storming the beach. And it was like, what? Like, it was incredible, man. I mean, these are these are heroes. Like, these are what we see as heroes. I mean, these guys went and liberated an entire country.
I bet they had some good stories to tell you too.
Oh man,
I can't imagine
amazing stories, and they will outdrink anybody. Just let you know,
they will.
they will outdrink anybody. But no, I mean it was incredible, man, and it was there were moments when we were with Dennis that it was almost spiritual, man. I mean, it was like you see like this kid coming back into Normandy, man, and you see like. Now that he is back, like he's seeing what all the hell that he went through was for, and it was incredible, man. And it's the only, I said it over there. This is the only time that we'll ever be able to see this. Like there's not another war where we'll be able to go back and they'll be like, thank you so much for what you did. There's just not.
Yeah.
And there, I mean, everyone is so thankful, and I mean and it runs like so deep, man. Just this deep rooted appreciation from the French people. I mean, it was incredible, absolutely incredible.
And you performed.
I did. I played 7 different shows. At one point in time, I played my song "I'm America" in front of 20,000 French people, and they were singing it with me.
Nice.
It was wild.
How'd that feel?
It was wild. It was one of the most incredible moments I've ever felt. But there were just so many moments where it was just you just had an outer body experience, man. I mean, there was one moment we played in front of the mayor's office in St. Mary-Glise, and there were like 200 kids, and they sang our national anthem in English, like completely, like no issues. I mean, it was beautiful, man, and it was like what it like gives you chills, but it was incredible. It was truly incredible.
I can imagine, especially, like I'm assuming there's other artists or other USO tour members that are not that were not military, or they're just very avid supporters.
Yeah.
But the reverence that you must have had, not only coming from Riley, not only being in the military, but not only that, but being a soldier.
Yeah.
And then going back to see, like, performing for us, and you're doing it, that just must have just added to it.
Yeah, I mean that, and then the fact that I was the only American artist that was asked to come and perform and represent the United States there.
That's good. That's rich. That's awesome.
It was incredible, man. It was truly a life-changing experience and a once in a lifetime experience, and it was amazing. It really was.
That's awesome.
That's yeah. I just think. I'm trying to digest that right now. Like just the not even being on stage, being there, just knowing the what was happening, there and on D-Day and those individuals. But yeah, I'm sure you touched so many, individuals' lives, and being 19 and then going back at 99 and seeing, how everything changed, and knowing that you had a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was wild. I mean, I walked the beach like from where the water is, where they would have started, and I mean, it's far. Like, it's a far distance, man. And the craziest part is, like, you're walking down these beach and there's kids playing on this beach and stuff, and you're like, that's why.
Yes.
Like, right there is why they did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're seeing and being able to see Dennis experience that for the first time was one of the most incredible things I've ever experienced. It was amazing.
That must have been incredible. I mean, like we said, when we went into the standard, we went everywhere. We were wearing Kevlar plates. We had $10,000 worth of gear on us. They're like, hey, here's a rifle. Here's about 50 pounds of stuff. Go, good luck.
Yeah.
Go figure it out. So
yeah, man. And when they were in it until it was over.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like, it was.
And before that too, I mean, these guys were training for a year before they even got to England, 2 years in England, and then they go to war for another year and a half, 2 years.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. But then what led to leaving right from there, going into the Opry? I mean,
I just another crazy story, man. Everything has seemed to come full circle randomly. So when I was at Walter Reed, I had Gary Sinise, or Lieutenant Dan, decided that he was going to come and visit all the soldiers that were at Walter Reed. And I wanted to meet Lieutenant Dan so freaking bad. I never got the opportunity because I had to go into a surgery. And it's funny, I went into surgery. They pushed off my surgery as long as they possibly could. I got out of surgery at like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, "Is Lieutenant Dan still here? Like, I want to meet him." And they're like, "Dude, it's like dark. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. Like, no, he's not here." I was like, "Dang, man, that sucks." 13 years later, 13 years later, I get an email randomly from Gary Sinise because I have been telling the story about how I want to meet Lieutenant Dan and I want to meet Gary Sinise, and I never got the opportunity. And someone was like, "Hey, Gary, email this guy. Like, he has wanted to meet you for this long, blah, blah, blah." So me and Gary started exchanging emails. Like, we became email pals, man. We would just randomly, "Man, so good to hear you're doing great, blah, blah, blah." Never actually met. And I was at a show in DC at the Four Seasons, and we were doing sound check. And after sound check, I went into this conference room where that was kind of our green room. And I went in there and we were just kind of hanging out and talking and whatever. And I get a call from a number I didn't know, and I answer it, and it's Gary Sinise. He's like, "Hey, man, like, got a question for you." And I was like, "All right." He's like, "We're doing the 30th anniversary of Forrest Gump at the Opry, and just wanted to know if you wanted to be a part of it." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You want to come make your Opry debut?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like, the Opry for country artists is the mountaintop. Like, that's where it is, man. I mean, that means that you've done something." So yeah, and he was like, "Okay." He said, "But in order to do this, you have to pick a song from the soundtrack of Forrest Gump, and you have to perform that song at the Opry, and then you can perform one of your songs." And I was like, "Too easy. I already know which one I want. Fortunate Son. Too easy. Boom.
Yeah.
Done." And so I went and so got done with that. I was on cloud nine, of course. 3 or 4 days later, we get back into Nashville, and I go to Franklin, Tennessee, which is where Gary Sinise's new foundation building is for the Gary Sinise Foundation. And we were just going to meet with his team to kind of talk about the Opry. What I was told was Gary wasn't going to be there. We were just meeting with his team. And they're like showing us around or whatever. And Gary comes walking into the room, and I run up to him and grab him and hug him and freaking lift him off the ground. And I'm like, 13 years, man. 13 years. I've been waiting for this moment. Like, but it was awesome, man. And it was, I got to make my Grand Ole Opry debut, a couple weeks after that. And, I mean, I've never felt feelings like I felt when I was on that stage. Like, you feel the history before you on that stage, and it just hits you in waves, man. And it was amazing. And I got to play Fortunate Son, and now we're working on doing a version of Fortunate Son that we're going to put out, and it's amazing. And the most incredible part of the whole night was I got to play my song, "How Do You Choose?" That a song about my best friend, Adam Hamilton, being killed. And Adam Hamilton's family was in the crowd that night. And it was incredible, man. Man. I mean, it was amazing. And after the song, like, they showed a picture of Ham on the screens and stuff. It was amazing. It was beyond amazing.
It sounds like, honestly, just breathtaking. I mean, no words can quantify.
Yeah.
Even the feelings, even to this day. I mean, I can see it, and there's nothing that you can say to describe it. I don't think there's anything no one could ever describe that feeling. I mean, that you have in your heart when you're.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's not only like just being there, and I mean, there's so much history in that building, on that stage. There's so much history there. It's not only that, but like when I walked out to make my Grand Ole Opry debut, I got a standing ovation, and when I left, I got a standing ovation. Like, that never happens. Like, that's insane. Like, it's just like you said. There's no way to express that experience. Yeah. It's incredible.
Did they let you do that that little like that private show in that smaller room? I forget what the name of it is.
Yeah. So that after the debut, you do like your debut party in that in the circle room. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw an artist in there, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a really cool little setting. I like that.
Man, it's such a great spot, and we got to do the debut party, the after debut party, and it was fun. And I had all of Ham's family was there, and I had my family there. I mean, it was incredible, man, and it was incredible to be able to meet like some of Ham's family that I didn't even know that knew about me and had listened to my songs and stuff, and that it was amazing. It was an amazing night all around.
2024 was pretty epic
It was.
for
It
you.
was.
I'm sure a lot of emotions, but a lot of success.
Yeah, a lot more than like I said, this was never the dream.
Yeah.
Music was never, there's people that moved down here to Nashville that have been dreaming of doing music since they were like 3 or 4. That was never my dream. My dream was to be in the military and retire in 20 years and then move on and go find something to do when I'm old, and but yeah, this was never the dream until it was. And now it's more than I could have ever imagined.
And that right there, right, is it all spawned from 7 seconds,
Yep.
right? And that's something
Mhm.
that, individuals, veterans, non-veterans, listening is that's it. That's spawned from that little 7 seconds, and now, you're at D-Day, you're at Normandy, and then you're on the, on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. Like that right there, that trajectory in such a small amount of time
Yeah.
is pretty awesome. But that's incredible that it started at for 7 seconds.
Yeah, it just I'm blessed, man. I don't know how else to say
Yeah.
it. And now, this year we're doing even more. We're playing even more shows and even crazier stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's our
just,
next. What's 2025
Yeah,
look like,
yeah,
man?
that was
oh
my
man.
curious
How are you going to
question.
top 24?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I played the let's see. Yeah, I played. So May was amazing. I played the PBS concert special for Memorial Day, which is insane with the National Symphony, which is unreal. And then the next day I got to play the parade, which is even crazier. Just a lot of big shows and opening for people that I've been listening to my whole life and just playing, yeah, just playing shows, man, which is amazing. And a
That's,
lot of great music coming
yeah.
out.
That's awesome.
So how can people find you? How can people? I mean, I know, you know, I'm sure that there's going to be thousands of people that resonate with that story of your past and your present. But how can people find you more? How can they
Yeah,
reach out and listen and whatnot?
yeah, man, on social media at Scotty Hastings Music, and then scottyhastings.com to see where I'm playing and what I'm doing. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a hell of a year.
And then the support you're doing for veterans is incredible as well. And I know I met you at the Operation Song Gala last year, and you got anything on the books to continue doing that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm working with a lot of different nonprofits. I mean, military nonprofits help save my life, man, and I will do everything in my power to help nonprofits with what they're doing. I mean, they save people's lives every day, and I want to be a part of that. So yeah, man, I have a lot of different things coming up with a lot of nonprofits, and I that will be part of my life forever.
That's
That's
powerful.
awesome. As we one of the things we like to do as we kind of start closing out is try to go back and reminisce one of your favorite military memories. I mean, that could be from the day you sign to the day you get out. I mean, it could be good memory, bad memory, but just your fondest, funniest, craziest memory that you got.
Oh man, you mean other than like random barracks moments?
No, those are in there too. I mean, it's truly it can go whatever way you want it to go.
No, one of the coolest days that we ever had, we were in Afghanistan and we had for some reason we had a day off and we had a whole Madden tournament, dude. It was amazing. And it was like exactly what we needed when we needed it because we literally every time we went out and on patrol, we got shot at every day and you could feel that like everyone was just down, man. And we had a Madden tournament and everyone got into it and it was like, it was amazing. It was exactly what we needed, and it was before all before I got shot, before all the crazy stuff started happening. And it was like, it's a moment that I'll always hold on to because all of my best friends were there. All of us were together. We were just having a good time. And it was perfect, man.
Who are you playing as?
Oh man, I'm always the Colts.
Yeah.
Either the Colts or the
Not the
Bengals.
Bengals. Come
Take that
on,
back. I take that back. Either the Colts or the Bengals.
I was gonna say a Cincy boy from.
You know, I tried to not like the Bengals for a long time, but
Yeah.
now we got Joey B. I can't really help it. I have to.
You
You're
got
giving them a winning chance when you're playing, though.
100%.
Well, awesome, B. I mean, we just want to thank you so much for coming on. I mean, it's just an absolute honor. I mean,
Well, thank you
being able
guys
to
for
talk
having
with
me.
you and just being able to share. Our whole goal of this is to share everybody's story. I mean, just from musicians to influencers to doctors. I mean, that's our goal, and show veterans, show family of veterans that there is a life after this, and that there is hope,
Yeah,
even when you think that there is none. And
yeah,
it's like you said,
absolutely.
it starts at 7. It starts at 1 second. It starts at 7 seconds to
Mhm.
5 to 2 minutes to 3
Mhm.
hours to 6 months to years down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, man. I really appreciate it, Scotty. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.